Hi there, Susan Campfield with SueStampfield.com. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. I am here to share with you this adorable little teeny tiny treat bag. So let me just give you a comparison of the size on this treat bag. This is a Reese's peanut butter miniature cup, and you can see that just one of those perfectly fits in here, or you could use a Hershey's Kiss or maybe a single Rolo. So it's just a little tiny cute a treat to give to somebody, and it's really pretty quick and easy to put together. So let's get started. I'm going to just set this right over here. So we're going to use a piece of Designer Series paper that is 6 inches long. Here's my scale here, 6 inches by 3 inches. And this paper is 12 by 12, so you can get quite a few of these out of one package. The paper I'm using is called Spooky Night. And of course it's double-sided, and actually either one of these sides would be cute with this project. Now this one I used the striped side, but for my video here, why don't we use the other side? So you're going to take this and you're going to do some scoring on that. I'm going to pull in my Simply Scored scoring tool here. So you could also use a paper trimmer if you prefer. It doesn't matter what you use. So I've got my 6-inch long paper in here. So I'm putting the 6-inch length up at the top of the scoring tool. Or if you're using a paper trimmer, you'd measure the 6-inch at the top. And then I'm going to score it at these different markings. So I'm going to score it, and I'll just show you where they are. I use these little markers just so that if I'm making quite a few of these, it's a little bit easier for me if I can just put in the markers and then I'm set to do a whole bunch. This one does not want to come out, which is good. It's not going to fall out on me. Okay, so the first mark is 1 3/8. So there's 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. So 1 3/8. And then I'm going to score again at 2 3/4. And I'm going to score again at 4 1/8. And then I score again at 5 1/2. So I'm going to take my scoring tool here. It's got a big ball, a skinny ball, either end works. You can use whichever you prefer. And I'm just going to drag it down to score on those markers. So it's going to be hard for you to see, but I think you can, if I tilt it in the light a little bit, do you see that crease there? So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangular shapes going down, and then kind of a skinny tab on the end. Now I'm going to rotate my piece this way, and I'm going to score again at 1 inch. Now my paper is directional, and the 1 inch part is going to form the bottom of our box. Let me peel off this little tag that has my name on it. Can you see the bottom there? So for this paper, I want the words to be up, so I want my bottom to be down here. So I'm going to score actually at the 2 inch mark because I want it 1 inch in from the bottom. So if this was going to be, I could have done it this way, maybe this would be a little clearer. So score at the 1 inch mark that way. Okay, so there we've got those different score lines. Now we're going to do some cutting. So I'm going to grab my paper snips, which are behind me here. Sorry about that. And so here's my, this paper is a little bit busy. So when I cut it, it's a lot easier for me if I just fold on those score lines, just so I can see where I am actually cutting at. So just folding on all the crease lines. Now you can really see how we've got those 4 panels and then the 1 skinny panel. And then when I fold up on that bottom piece, I'm going to have 4 rectangles here and 1 little extra rectangle at the end. This one at the end, this small little rectangle here, is going to come out completely. So let me just cut that out all together. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to cut on the score line on the bottom where I scored that 1 inch mark. And I'm going to stop at the intersecting score line. So it's going to leave 2 inches up here and a 1 inch bottom down there. And I'm going to repeat that on all 4 of them. I guess it's only 3 lines, which will give me 4 little rectangles here. And the one other cut I'm going to make is here on the tab. I'm just going to do an angle cut here. And this is going to give you a cleaner look when you put the box together. This isn't going to show, it doesn't matter what angle you cut it at, you're just evening it up so that when you put the box together, you don't have a jagged edge sticking out above, okay? So I'm ready to put this box together. It's going to go together like that. So I'm going to put some strong adhesive right here, and I'm going to use tear and tape for that. You could also use liquid glue. Snail and glue dots probably are not going to be strong enough to hold this box together, depending on what you put inside of it. So I'm going to go with tear and tape. That's one of our strongest adhesives that we sell. Now, can you see when I tore that? It is sticking out beyond my project. Let me show you how I deal with that. I'm going to peel the backing off of this paper, just like that. And I'm just going to flip that back. So it's still sticky, it still will help hold my box together, but now it's not going to have sticky stuff sticking out where I don't want it to stick. So now I prefer on a 3D item like this, instead of trying to press it down like this, I just fold it flat and press. And then you've got that adhered. And then I'm going to take the bottom part here and I'm going to fold in every flap. And this last flap, I'm going to put a little piece of tear and tape on. Right there. And peel the backing off of that and push that down. And there we've got our little box shape. So the next step is to just make these gusseted sides. Super easy. You just take your fingers and just kind of push in on the sides and squeeze it closed. And that gives you the gusset. Of course, before you put the top on, you're going to want to pop in your candy. And like I said, one Reese's miniature just fits absolutely perfectly in here. And then we're going to squeeze it closed. Now, I used, for my closure on this, I used the library clips. You can also use our binder clips. Those would be cute. You could even staple it, whatever you want to do. One thing I like about the binder clip is that the person can get it open then and get the chocolate out without destroying my lovely work of art. So, so that's our closure. And then we're just going to do some really quick and simple decorating. Let me just move this square tool out of the way. I hit my light there and make a big dinging sound. So to decorate this, I used a couple of products from the new holiday catalog. In addition to this paper, I used the Spooky Cat Punch and the Spooky Night Designer Series paper, which is where this came out of. One of the other sheets in that pack has the cats on it that match the punch. There's also a cat stamp in the coordinating stamp set that has words on it, or you can just punch the cat out in plain paper and stamp the little kitty face on it from the set. So we're going to I'm going to trim this lower part off just so that I can get in there with the punch. Mackenzie says, great idea for the binder library clip as a closure. Thanks, Mackenzie. Don't you hate that when you work really hard on something and then you know they're going to rip it apart to be able to have to rip it apart to be able to get it open? So I'm just going to line up the cat punch with the paper and punch it out. It is that easy. I didn't have to do any stamping or anything. And we'll just pop the kitty right on here with some dimensionals. And then how I did the pumpkins was very similar. So we've got our kitty on there. The pumpkin is actually also printed paper in that same package to get all of this in the pack. So this is the paper that has the jack-o'-lanterns on it. And then you could fussy cut those out, or if you have a Big Shot, the patterned pumpkins dies work perfectly to cut out these cute little pumpkins. See, I had one. Oh yes, here he is. Had one punched out already. So here's one of the bigger ones. Now this one, he's pretty tall, so I would stick this guy on the back side because you might as well decorate both sides of this cute box, right? So we're going to just turn it around and we'll put this guy on the back. And so you can see how it's coming together. So here's the back side of this one. I added 2 pumpkins, and I did add the Happy Halloween greeting from the Spooky Cat stamp set, and I punched that out with the classic label punch. For our ribbon here, I'm going to hold this up so you can see it. It doesn't come across in the photos very well, but do you see that little, this is the shimmer basic black ribbon, and the shimmer in this one is kind of a fleck of gold. It's really pretty, and it's just perfect for Halloween. So, and it goes really well with my gold clip, and I just stuck that on with a glue dot. So I just did here that little bow on the top with a glue dot. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this little guy up. I'm going to add a couple more pumpkins, so I'll go cut those out. But that gives you the basics on how to put the piece together. So just to recap here, I've got a sample. I'm going to grab my measurements. So your piece of paper is 3 by 6. You're going to score at 1 3/8, 2 3/4, 4 1/8, and 5 1/2. You'll rotate your piece so the 3-inch side is at the top of the trimmer, and you'll score it at 1 inch. And then you're going to cut up from the bottom to the intersecting score line on all of those tabs. This end rectangle you're going to cut out completely, and then you're going to do an angle cut on each side of the tab here and put a piece of tear tape on. And that's how you'll assemble the box. And then you put one more piece of tear and tape on the bottom of the box. So that is our cute and simple little teeny tiny treat bag decorated with the Spooky Cat stamp set. And I will have this all up on my blog. Should be up tonight or tomorrow at the latest, so you can see all of the measurements in this video. You can watch it again when you're making the project. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.